What's up, stranger?
Stress. Been looking for work.
What you looking for?
2 ounces of hard white.
Bitch.
People are always asking me, Kiki, the books that you write, is that about you? Is that about your life? I used to rob drug dealers. I used to traffic drugs. I was a savage. I used to get it, and I didn't care who I got it from.
I've been looking for you for 2 weeks. Where is my money?
And now I can sit here and show you guys a glimpse of my life before I turned it around.
I'm gonna ask you one more time, Kiki. Think harder, right? Where's my goddamn money at?
Mrs. Santana, you look stunning. What are you wearing? And tell us about this new venture in the fashion industry.
I'm wearing a piece from my own line. It's called Kais, designed by my brilliant partner and friend, Karen Blackwell.
Wow. Look at Adriana Santana. She's hot. I don't see Louis anywhere, though. I noticed Sheldon Chisholm and his family are here. Not to mention the other half-dozen criminals in here.
Oh, no, you don't. We're here to have fun.
But why are you here alone? Where's your recently acquitted husband, Louis?
Louis is back home resting. He has his share of bright lights and cameras. We just want to leave that whole thing behind us.
No work today. We've been here for 5 minutes and you're already profiling people? Come on now.
And what else are you looking to see tonight?
All of my friends and to show off her brilliant work. Everything that you're about to see.
We can't wait for it.
The only reason I invited you is because you're my best friend and we never get to spend time together. Plus, you're killing it in that dress. Here comes Jess. I wanted to introduce you to.
When you done?
Roger that.
Then why do you have it?
She told me to keep it!
I'll be out in a minute. Stop with the lies!
He's a very flashy Haitian with a penchant for violence. He's no one to play with, Haitian.
Where's my goddamn money at?
Sakura is dead.
Play with me again. I'm tired of hearing you talk all the time. Save it. Save it.
She's my friend. She's my friend.
But I will not give up. I will not give in. And I will not get caught. Time to go hunting.
And the winner is Wes Clark. Congratulations.
Yes, she's my mother.
Rock stars. There is nothing like those wild, rebellious party animals. Entry number 60.
When I decided to pursue acting, I never thought it was this difficult after weeks of being homeless, jobless, sleeping on my friends' couches. I'm finally here!
Just take care.
What are you
of
doing?
yourself.
Shh.
What's going on?
Tribe, they're
Terry.
coming.
Where have you been? I've been calling you on your cell phone all day.
At work.
Faith wake up dope sick, fiending for a sniff. Left the house, ain't tell her husband she was gone, she just dipped.
Why is it that you are taking large sums of money out of our account every single day?
While her family's at home, she's out there chasing that high. Roaming up and down the block, she run into this pimp guy. He's conversating with her, asked her if she tryna make cash. Next thing you know, she's in front of the pink house selling the ass. Then she gets dope sick again. She need that boy, so she out there searching again. She's tired of her life. For years she done wrong. Now she wanna do right. She go to rehab to get the help she need, and she tell her family.
I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax. Probably more infamous.
I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuznetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Honshu.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh my God, you're such a...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you're going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
So we have the extended version of the dream sequence right here. Sheldon comes to visit Yoshi in her hotel room after their meeting. Yoshi looks a little nervous at first, but then you see things get a little steamy after he throws her against the wall. And right here, Yoshi thinks she has everything under control because that's how she manipulates men, through her sexuality. So In her mind, she has him right where she wants him. You see, that's Yoshi though. She's hot, she's sexy, she's manipulative. She uses sex to get the upper hand on men. Get the win no matter what the cost. And as you can see, this is not exactly the result she was looking for. We shot this scene in Atlanta. Chuck Gomez was the director of photography. Great scene, good acting by Zasha and Wilner.
For pop R&B artist Jamela.
I picked Kelly.
Love you, hate you. I don't know if I should leave you. Stay here, right here. Push you out, I let you back. Love you, hate you. I don't know if I should leave you. Stay here, right here. For your love and hate got me running.
Can we just handle this in the morning, please?
No, I think I want to handle this right now. You can give your time to the studio boy, but I think your man can get a few minutes. Alright? Hey, don't walk away from me!
You're hurting me. Stop, please.
Get in the car.
I've been down this roller coaster, running around in circles. We go trips around the moon. So confused, so scared, so in love, so unfair. It's so unfair, yeah.
Standing next to me is one of the sponsors of tonight's fabulous event, music mogul Lance Wallace. How are you, Lance?
Good evening, Michelle. I'm well, thank you.
Excellent. Now, are you concerned with the recent backlash for the drug charges against your group, Grind Time? And what's the status of the case?
Worth of Brilliant Inc. and its artists will always maintain its innocence. This is clearly a misunderstanding. And we're here to promote positivity and give opportunity to our people and to all people. That's it.
And so what do you think about Mr. Wallace is here to promote his fashion line? He will only be answering questions about that subject.
Thanks.
So, actually, we got everything up into the part where you started doing that, so we'll probably start there, but we're going to move in closer and get a closer shot of that. Okay. We'll be done with that.
Okay.
And then I think he wants to do some steady cam stuff, so.
Chastity, the social media influencer and rockstar killer. Maria, from Miami. And Lucy, aspiring actress. Sydney, hip-hop lover and writer, so I'm told. And my quiet one, Mackenzie. Well, hello, ladies. I'm Bella. I have a question for everyone. Why do you think rich men cheat? Control. I'm going home.
Don't go.
Attention.
You bring the total package to the table. You just need the right friends.
Are you my friend?
No, but you can be mine.
And power.
I stuck my neck out for you.
Thank you!
And I pulled the strings to get you onto this show.
Take all three away, and he becomes desperate.
So what's with the apples?
Well, it represents knowledge, wisdom, beauty, and power. Here, you will learn how to gain ownership of all.
I'm gonna send you the money for the ticket, and I already have your room set up at the Palms.
You do that, babe.
Because once you have possession of the apple, no man alive will have power over you.
You make it sound so easy.
Oh, it's not easy.
Brett, look, I'm sorry.
Save it. Save it.
I get no auditions. I'm gonna stop you right here. I get no callbacks.
I really need to get upstairs. They stole all my money.
I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you're no better than the rest of us.
Right now, they have a do not disturb until this afternoon. If they call you, great.
How is he gonna call me if he doesn't?
If not, charge it to the game.
Make no mistake, ladies. In order to succeed in this game, you must be willing to play it out till the very end.
This business is all types of savage.
What are you doing? But if you follow my blueprints, I guarantee you will become a millionaire within the next 3 years. Possibly way earlier. So, are you ready to take that step?
Another day, another dollar. Ain't about money, don't you holla. 100 miles and racing, and that money conversation been my only motivation, yeah.
Up, y'all, this is Rayon Lawrence, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Catherine Nunez, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director and the Council on the IE Network.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
This is Vicky Judy. Orange is the new black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks. You are listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Nothing more, nothing less. What's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Real Talk with the Jedi Council and the Director. I'm the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk is brought to you each and every Monday by B2S Media. We broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV, the IE Network, the Independent Entertainment Network, and on Twitter and on Facebook. So what's up, people? Shh. Y'all hear that? It's Libra season. Just want to let y'all know. Libra gang. Hashtag Libra gang. Hashtag Libra Nation. Libras in the building. Stand up. Word up. I don't have my applause hooked up, bro, so I'd be hitting it. So, yeah, man. Shout out to all the Libras out there. Shout out to everybody. You know what I mean? And happy birthday to all of the people that's celebrating birthdays right now. I got one coming up this weekend. Getting old. See the gray. Barely, I Beijinged it out a little bit. I put a little poop, and it's still gray. So I tried to go ease up on the Beijing because these cats be having the Beijing. They be the Beijing, whatever you want to call, how you pronounce it. They be coloring the beard, and it be too dark. I mean, come on now. We know your hair ain't that dark. Their hair be gray as hell, and their beard be black. It be like this color black. Like, come on, man. You're gonna rock that Beijing, put a little bit in there so it looks more natural. You don't have to be like, They're trying to look young. The lines be all crazy, you know. I mean, they be sharp, but it's just nah. But anywho, yeah, birthday coming up Saturday. Actually, there's a lot of people in October, man. A lot of Libras um, that I'm finding out that people I've known for 20 plus years didn't even know they were Libra. They didn't even know their birthdays in October. But you know, I know. I think Rayon's a Libra, but I think he's a September Libra. He might be at the end of September. And then, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Rayon Lawrence. I know Rob Riley's a Libra. Shout out to Rob Riley. I mean, me and Ursha, we share the same birthday. So word up. What's going on, chat room? Joseph Tanner, what's good? As you guys might have seen coming into the room, a little bit of extra trailers and things like that now that we show. So the show starts at 8, but we probably go live usually around 7:30, 7:40, 7:45 to start showing all of our little pre-show stuff. And we got different ones too, so you'll be seeing it won't be the same old thing over and over again. We got different things that'll be coming. A little new spin put on there. But yeah, man, shout out to all the Libras. So we still got the actors strike still going on, still going strong. But they are making progress. There's a lot of things that's been happening behind the scenes, and they're feeling pretty good, and they're making progress. So that's good. We will check that out. Also, we'll talk a little bit about. I want to set the record straight. There's a lot of these these vultures, I call them. They're not media. You know, I know they don't get me wrong. They doing their thing. They doing their numbers. But I'm not even gonna say their name. But it's some of these blog sites, and you could look them up. That are now Disney has done something questionable, yes, but I just don't like where people put the clickbait articles titles. So most of the titles you'll come across will say that Disney has pulled The Little Mermaid from competition at the Oscars for consideration of the Oscars. And then another one said Disney pulls Halle Bailey from the Oscars. One actually went on and said Disney pulls Halle Berry, Little Mermaid from the Oscars amid the pregnancy. That's what it says. Something like Disney pulls pregnant Halle Bailey. Now, Halle Bailey has not been confirmed to be pregnant. There's been rumors that the boyfriend that she was dating, she might be pregnant. And she may very well. But guess what? That's her business. And even if it is, whatever the case may be, if she is or she isn't, you shouldn't be putting stuff like that out there. I'm not going to sit here and get on my soapbox, but I'm just saying. It says Disney, so they're painting the narrative that because Halle Bailey is allegedly pregnant, Disney pulled The Little Mermaid from consideration at Oscars. That is fake news. Fake news. Because whereas what they did do is still questionable. Don't get me wrong. And we could try to talk about it. Me and the council will try to work it out and figure out what they doing. But that is not the case. Halle Bailey is still going to be considered for an Oscar. So the headline saying that they pulled her from the Oscars is ridiculous, but that's false, I should say. But they did pull something. We'll go over that. Yeah, man, and we'll go over some other stuff too. But that's been a trending topic, and a lot of people have been really putting that narrative out there. And I do want to kind of set that record straight, So, and that's that, man. We'll get to it right away. We thank y'all for joining us. Make sure you come through. You hit the like button, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to the IE Network. Make sure you share it with your friends. That's very, very, very. And comment, man. This is an open forum. Come in, leave a comment. If you're not here for the live show and you missed the chat room, which is very cool chat room, by the way. We have some cool people that come in here when they come in and kick it. We got Joseph Tanner in here welcoming everybody when they come into the chat room. It's all good. But make sure you chat with us. If you don't chat, you don't come during the live chat, leave a comment. Say what's up. Tell us what you thought. Tell me. I don't care. Tell me. Give me critique me. Say, Wes, you suck. You got to get better. Don't troll me though. It's got to be real critique. Don't troll me. It's got to be real critique. It's got to be constructive criticism. Yo, Wes, man, I don't like the way you do that. Then I'll say, I really don't care. No, I'm joking. Anyway, let's go to the weekend recap. Then I'll bring in my Jedi Council and we'll get rocking. So, weekend recap for the weekend of October 6th through the 8th. Top 5 movies. Number 5 is The Blind. Just opened on September 28th. It's only made $10 million domestic and worldwide. It did not have an international release, at least not yet. Number 4 is The Creators. Is the film that Ralph talked about last week. Very good film from what I'm hearing. I didn't get a chance to see it yet. But it's only made $61 million worldwide, 25 million domestic. So once again, we'll reiterate that this is kind of like what Marty Scorsese was talking about, whereas films like this end up, for whatever reason, now recently they fly under the radar, don't get the recognition they deserve. Number 3, Saw 10. Saw X, whatever you want to call it, but it's Saw 10. Is at $55 million worldwide as of right now. Open on September 29th. And number 2, the Paw Patrol movie, the Mighty Movie. That's sitting at 86 mil. And I'm sure that will make a crap ton of money more when it comes to home video. I know my daughter wants to go see this movie. I'm trying to wait till, because if two kids, I'm not trying to be in the movie with all them crazy kids going nuts over Paw Patrol. Oh, jeez. And the number 1 movie is The Exorcist Believer. Now sitting at, just opened October 6th, already sitting at $44 million worldwide, 26 million domestic. So that is the number 1 movie. This is a direct sequel, I think, to the first movie. I think they kind of did like what Blumhouse did with Halloween, where they kind of like the other Exorcists. I'm not sure. I think Kev might have saw it. He could probably clarify that. The other Exorcist movies, I'm not sure if they're canon with this movie. We'll see. Because The Exorcist 3 was pretty much connected directly to the first Exorcist because it was the priest that helped exorcise her, and then the demon jumped into him at the end of The Exorcist, and he was in Exorcist 3. So I don't know. I'll ask our resident horror guy, Kev, and see he can clarify that. But it is a sequel. I don't know if it's a direct sequel though. And there you have it. That's the weekend recap. Your weekend recap for the weekend of October 6th through the 8th, the year 2023. All righty. Shout out again to the chat room. Joseph Tanner, how you doing, buddy? Remember, I just saw a couple people pop in and pop out. Y'all just come through, drop some love. We'll shout you out. And there we go. You are watching Real Talk with the director, Jedi Council. I'm the director. Brought my Jedi Council with me. You don't believe me? Well, here they are. Ralph, Kev, y'all's in the building. What's up?
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back, gentlemen. Thank you for your attention for attending. And Yeah. So, Kev, real quick. I was so The Exorcist, is it a direct sequel to the first Exorcist, or is the other movies canon?
Well, all of the movies are pretty much canon.
I mean,
Exorcist three.
judging by this script, that's what I mean. Like the way
Well,
this
I
story runs.
can't, I can't. This is why I'm prefacing what I'm saying because I can't say much without spoiling the movie.
Mhm.
Um, it is connected um via um yeah it is connected the same way as Exorcist 3 is connected to the first one
Right.
and
I know this was definitely connected to the first one. I guess what I
yeah,
mean
and just as well
with
as
the other ones.
just as well as the Exorcist the beginning and
Mhm.
the Exorcist the prequel, which is pretty much they're both the same. It's weird the way they shot those movies. But the way all of those two movies are connected with Father Marin, his beginnings,
Yeah.
his humble beginnings. Yeah, this is connected. I don't want to I don't want to spoil it.
No, you don't have to spoil it. I mean, I just mean like how Blumhouse did Halloween. We know that Halloween 2, even though Halloween 2 obviously
Oh,
wasn't done
yeah.
by
This is
Carpenter,
in that
but
it, no,
Halloween
but
Two
not
wasn't
but
considered canon when it came to the first Blumhouse Halloween. It was just right to
yeah. They
just
just they
take
basically
place
debunked
40
it, which I
years
thought was
later
stupid.
after, yeah, 40 years after the first one.
You know, which I think is stupid that they just basically cut out that whole movie.
Hmm.
Like you cut out a whole movie that Laurie Strode was a part of. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's an argument for another day. Um, this Exorcist movie is connected in the same sense and almost in the same kind of way, but there's a little bit of a difference. And I can't think of the two girls' names, but shout out to them because they're man, uh, I don't understand how these kids do movies like this and don't. I would never be able to sleep again.
Yeah, I'm not. I tell you, I'm like, I think about the unfortunate, with Heather O'Rourke, little girl from the Poltergeist
Yeah,
movies.
but see, that
You
was
know,
different. That was
yeah, I
see,
know,
that
but I'm
was
just like, man, I can't have these kids doing this stuff, man. But
that their
hey,
set was actually really there was stuff going on with
yeah,
them.
yeah, we know that.
Um,
Yeah, matter of fact, I wanted to kind of dig into that stuff a little bit because as we come up upon Halloween, Halloween is this year falls on a Tuesday, so our show right before Halloween, we could maybe dig into some stuff like that. I want to talk about a few little things and legends and haunted this and haunted that, legends
yeah,
or
I've really been enjoying this October. I started off like I normally do with how, but I switched it up this year. I only watched. I skip. I usually watch all of them, but I only watched Halloween 1, 2, 4, and 5. This is
okay.
the first time that I skipped Season of the Witch.
Oh,
Um, and didn't watch the rest of the movies. I usually go into that, then watch Rob Zombie, and then obviously the last two.
yeah.
But this October has been great. I watched all the Exorcist movies. Um, the director's cut, the one you never seen before, Exorcist 3, both of the prequel movies. Which I still
Mhm.
think is kind of weird the way they shot those. And I want to dig into that story about how they shot those movies because it's basically almost the same script with some variations.
Mhm.
Um, and and I watched the whole Conjuring series.
Okay.
I actually own all of them now.
I think I'm gonna go since I read about Blumhouse interested in taking over the Friday 13th series. Like, you know what? I'm gonna watch that. I haven't watched those in a long, long, long time. And being
Yeah, I
that we
watched
do
those
have a
during the
Friday the
summer.
13th coming up, Friday will be Friday the 13th. So I figure, you know what? I'll go ahead and watch that series, binge, run through that real quick. Friday 13th
Yeah,
series.
I watched Friday the 13th during the summertime. Um,
Hmm.
and I did the other thing that I started watching today. I watched the I'm still in the middle of it. I started watching Scream. I'm gonna go through the whole Scream thing. I'm really
Oh
gonna
yeah, that's
dive
cool to
in
go
deep
back.
this month. Um, but yeah, the Conjuring was dope, and I watched it in chronological movie order. Not in release order, but in the order of how the series of events happened and how
Yeah.
they all tie together. And it's so dope watching it like that because it just makes the story more fluid and just ties together. And the
Right.
first Nun movie, I really didn't. When I saw it in the theaters, I kind of panned it a lot because I just didn't like what the director did. But watching it at home, I've probably seen it about 20 times
Right.
at home, and since it's been out, and I have a different appreciation of it watching it from home.
Yeah.
Which
Um,
movie is this?
the Nun.
Oh, I got a question before you get back into it. I was going through some DVDs and one of them had a trailer to this movie called The Invitation. Is that part of the Conjuring
No. Mm-mm.
universe? No, because
No.
I was like that.
The only movies that are part of the Conjuring universe are
Just the Nun, right? And
the
Abigail.
no well the Nun, the Conjuring movies, and the Curse of La Llorona.
What about isn't it Abigail about the girl in
Oh,
the?
and Annabelle and
Okay,
Annabelle.
okay. Yeah, 'cause I saw
Those
that
those
trailer and I was like, "Yo, what is this?" I was like, "I think I want to watch it," but I had just never heard of it before. But it looked like part of the Conjuring universe. I was like, "Hmm."
Yeah, no, it's not a part of that. And also, just to clarify for people as well, uh, even though James Wan is directly tied to the Insidious series, the Insidious series of movies are all their own thing. They're not in any way connected to the Conjuring
Right.
um, universe. Another movie people might want to check out too is the the Devil's Pope. I think that's what it's called.
I ain't checking out nothing with the devil in it.
Um,
No,
it,
that's
it,
good.
uh, it,
No,
it's with Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is
Yeah, I saw the
it, it,
trailer for that
it
devil.
is a he's a priest that works for the Vatican, and
Yeah.
that movie is actually surprised. You would think because Russell Crowe is in it, you'd be like, oh, this is gonna be whack. It's actually really really good.
I
It's
wouldn't
actually
think
Well,
really
why
really
would I?
good.
I
It'd be
wouldn't
whack.
think
I
it'd
would
be
think
whack if
Russell Crowe would
Russell
be pretty
Crowe's in
damn
it.
good
He's a
with
great
Russell Crowe.
actor.
Because some people like the guy that's at my office, one of my clients, he said the same thing. He's like when I saw Russell Crowe, he was like, oh, this is gonna be some trash.
What?
Sometimes they
What the
just
hell is he talking about?
Ah, yeah.
Russell
well
Crowe.
because sometimes they take A-list actors and stick them in these movies and they just don't they stick them in these horror movies and they just don't work out well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's at the beginning of their career, not when if you're some dude or some woman that has an Oscar behind your name and you in a horror movie, I wouldn't take that lightly at all. Like, oh shit. I'd be like, wow, they got Russell Crowe in a horror movie. Okay. All
Well,
right.
he did the damn thing. Um, uh, and I definitely recommend that. And the as far as the Exorcist believers go, I'm gonna have to go back and see it again. I, the movie is in itself is a good film. Um, it's just some pacing issues and some stuff that was cut out on that was probably cut out and left on the cutting room floor or edited out of the script.
Well, you know that they originally, which was I just found this out today, which is interesting. Universal paid over $300 million for the rights to do a trilogy. So they want to make this a trilogy, which may explain some of the pacing problems. Maybe they just, are
Oh,
trying
okay.
to cut it down. You know what I mean? So because they have two more movies coming allegedly. I don't know if that's gonna be based on how well it does, but supposedly they paid upfront $300 million for the rights, to license the rights to it to do a trilogy. So that's interesting that they went after it so aggressively so
Aggressively,
early.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I
Well,
mean?
but
That was very
that
interesting.
that would make sense, and now that kind of sort of explains some things because there was some character development that just for me personally, I thought that
Right.
should have been there that just wasn't there, and I'm not usually big on stuff like that, but for this,
Yeah.
it kind of sort of it kind of sort of needed some stuff,
Yeah.
and and then they mixed in some stuff to try to give it fluff, and
Right.
it worked. As a matter of fact, towards the end of the movie, I almost in my mind I said, "Oh God, here we go, another PSA for the Catholic Church," and they totally resolved that issue.
Right.
I'm not going to say how they resolved it, but
Right.
if you're watching it and you're like, okay, here we go with the
Mhm.
BS, and they flipped the script. So and now with you saying that, I'm looking forward to seeing how they make the rest of this work.
Yeah, we'll see how that works, but that's definitely some news there. Speaking of news, so Jessica Lange, we all know the actress Jessica Lange, one of the she's one of the best in the biz. She says she plans to retire from acting soon, as she says, quote, creativity is secondary now to corporate profits in filmmaking. So, which is interesting. So she said she plans on retiring due to that fact. Um, well, can't really say that I disagree with her on that opinion. But creativity has been a problem for years in Hollywood. All they doing is remaking stuff. Other than if you're either adapting stuff or remaking stuff, that's pretty much what they've been doing for the last 20 years almost now. And
More than that.
yeah, probably more than that. Yeah. So that is hey, you gotta think about it, man. A lot of these people that came up through the business, went through the traditional channels. Obviously, it was harder to get into the business back then, and it was that's every business, it's not just acting. It's almost every line of business because the internet made things more accessible, make things a little more, not I don't say easy, but a little more accessible, I'll just say, um, and acceptable. So it's a good and a bad, right? It's good for the people that were trying, just knocking on, Hollywood's door forever and was never getting, because Hollywood was always run like a country club. You either was in or you're not. Say, and you could come in with someone can give you a day pass, and you go in with them, and then maybe you get in with the other people in the country club, and you get a chance to be part of it. So those days are kind of over now. Not like they used to be, because now people are developing their own country club. You see what I'm saying? A lot. The internet has put people in that position. Um, but yeah, creativity has been going for a long time, Miss Jessica Lange, and I do agree with you there. It is secondary to corporate profits. We all know that. They don't give a darn about what is creative and what's good. They really don't care. They just want to make sure that they can make money from it. You need the people that are inside
that
Pretty
do
much.
care, the Kevin Feige's of the world, who does care about good stuff. You see what I'm saying? He cares about it. Um, so that's why the MCU has delivered a lot of good stuff, since its existence, right? You do have the few people that care about delivering good stuff, but at the end of the day, for the most part, the ones who put the money up, they don't really care. They just want to make sure they have a return on the money. They want to join the latest trend, and that's that. So I kind of agree with her there. I mean, I can understand why she's like, hey, I'm ready to bounce. So the Taylor Swift concert movie, has already surpassed $100 million in pre-sales. I actually looked at it on my AMC app, and I was like, I'm going to the AMC app, and I saw the Taylor Swift movie. Let me just see what. Yeah, I'm going through it, and every show almost full, almost full, almost full. And let me just give you all a tip: if you have the AMC app, if it says almost full, it's pretty much full. That means the only thing left is like the handicap seats and some of the seats in the front. Most of the time, when I click on almost full, pretty much everything it's full. So I didn't see one in 2 straight days. I said, okay, I see what you're doing. Then I saw this. It says here, record-breaking Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour concert film has seen an advanced global tickets sales across the $100 million mark a week before the film opens, and over 800 excuse me, in over 8,500 theaters worldwide, including in the US market. On October 13th, AMC Theaters said Thursday the concert pick is expected to open to $100 million, from $100 million to $125 million.
What do you mean to talk about it's expected to open? It's already been opened.
It's already they
It's
already
been running
bought.
for about 2 weeks now, maybe
Nah,
3.
the movie's not out yet. It ain't out yet.
I
These are
saw I saw
pre-sales.
I saw the Taylor Swift concert was in IMAX at the Westbury. Maybe that was a special screening.
Maybe it was an
But
early special
Yeah.
screening, but it doesn't open till this Friday
yeah,
officially.
because it definitely was playing
Or
for the last
Thursday.
2 to 3 weeks in IMAX at the Westbury.
It might have been like a early special screening. Yeah, but yeah, the pre-sales. This $100 million is pre-sale tickets. And even
Wow.
when you look at it on the AMC app, it's not available till next Friday or next Thursday.
Now I
So
wish I would have. Now I wish I would have snuck in and
and
watched it.
watched it, right? I said, yeah, who knows if it's gonna be it? Maybe that was the only. IMAX kind of works separately, so that might have been the only opening they had at the moment. Maybe they decided to do it as a pre-screening thing, but I don't know if it's gonna be in any IMAXs after it opens. I'm sure it will though, other places.
Sorry,
But
I'm just not. I'm just not Taylor Swift's concert movie.
bruh,
It just
listen,
it just
don't be
don't
hating
appeal
on
to
Taylor
me. I
Swift.
know there's a lot. I know there's a lot of Swifties out there. I know there's Swiftie fans out there. Before y'all get your brushes and brooms and all that crap, go see Taylor Swift. To me, I'll pass. I'm a pass.
I mean, hey, it's not everybody's cup of tea, right? But she has a big, big. This is what I was trying to tell you last week. She has a huge fan base, two
Oh no,
genres full of fan
no
base,
doubt. And then you
right?
saw what came out this week. Even Kelsey said, "Listen, the NFL is going overboard with this whole Taylor Swift thing. Like, calm it down." Because he's
Yeah,
right. It does look like
and,
some
and and
sort
she
of
didn't
media.
show up to the game against my Vikings, but it looked like she was dressed as one of the refs because they sure hit us with like 3 or 4 bad calls at the end of the game. I was like, after that ref must be a Swifty. 'Cause, the Swifties, as a matter of fact, seriously, I'm watching the pregame before my game starts with the Vikings and the Chiefs, and I'm seeing Vikings fans with Swifty jerseys on. There was on Viking jerseys, but the back of it said Swifty, and I'm like, wow, it knows no bounds. I said, let me tell you something. I'll be damned if I bring somebody with me to myself. I want to come here, and all the Swifties that showed up was disappointed that Taylor Swift didn't show up.
Of course they did. They even said that dude's jersey is now like the hottest seller, all because of Taylor Swift. And I get that. Is it a marketing play by Taylor Swift? I don't see why she doesn't need it. Is it?
It's not a marketing play, but why would it be by her? It doesn't help
because her movie is coming out, and and she made the rounds for two games, but didn't come to this one. But this is the week that the movie is coming out, so she didn't show up. She doesn't need it. She's Taylor Swift, so I give her that one. But the NFL is really acting like
they're really leaning into it, Ralph, because they want that extra publicity. It really helps the NFL more than anybody.
No, it does not. Listen, there have been plenty of players, plenty of football players that have dated someone that is of a different genre. Plenty
Ralph, I know that, but you can't say that it doesn't.
But it's not Taylor Swift.
They just have
different.
Right, exactly. The 2 games she was at was some of the highest rated games that the NFL has seen.
Most watched.
Yeah, highest rated television wise. The Sunday night football, the game that she went to, the Jet game, that was the highest rated as far as television Sunday night football in years, almost ever.
But that does not help the NFL.
How can that not help the NFL?
I'll tell you why. No, I'll tell you why. If let's say all the previous games like a 9 rating, and now Taylor Swift is there, and now they get a 15. Okay, they get a 15 game. Is NBC, ABC, CBS, ESPN, any of them going to cancel the NFL on their network?
It's not about canceling. It's about higher ratings. Ratings is God in television.
No. See, the major sports, the NFL does not need Taylor Swift for higher ratings. They don't.
I didn't say that they need it, Ralph.
Nobody's saying that they need it.
Let me rephrase this. Then let me rephrase that. Taylor Swift coming to an NFL game doesn't do anything for the NFL. Not one thing.
What do you mean?
It does not. 100% wrong.
Ralph, 100% wrong. The numbers in itself.
Yeah.
The numbers don't. The analytics don't lie.
No, lie, women lie. Numbers don't.
All right. The question. Then all right. That's fine. Then let's ask this question. What were the ratings for last night's NFL Sunday night game? Were they lower?
Definitely lower.
Okay, so unless they're
last night's Sunday night game, yeah, it was definitely. I mean, that was a great game. I'm sure the. See, this is the problem, Ralph. You're trying to say that we say that the NFL needs Taylor Swift. That's not what we're saying. What I'm saying is they're leaning. Why do you think that? So how do you explain then, Ralph? Why the NFL? They're leaning into this whole thing. They're right with the shits. They're looking for Taylor Swift. They're putting the camera on her when she's there. They're talking about her before the game. They're talking about her after the game. Why do you think they're doing that, Ralph?
That was the same thing when Russell was dating Ciara. It's the same shit.
No way. Nowhere near the same thing. Because they talked about it a couple times and that was it. Maybe they talk about it a couple times. And only black people really talked about that.
Okay,
for the most part.
Then we can go with Tom Brady and Giselle Bundchen. Right? There have been plenty
but Ralph, even that
married to her after a while that blew over.
It don't slap the same way as Taylor Swift.
But the point.
Now, you gonna tell me the end of the season they're gonna be doing it? Maybe not. But because it's new, It's fresh. You damn well they're gonna lean right into this.
I'm
And if
not. I'm
Taylor
not the.
Swift, if Taylor
I
Swift
am not.
attends next week's game, they're gonna lean right back into
I'm not.
that.
I'm not I'm not debating that. I'm not debating that. Okay,
So,
so
so what are
she's
you
there.
saying? I
I
don't
get
understand. What's the
what I'm saying is, unless the NFL is going to have Taylor Swift at every single Kansas City game, every single game, when now they are juggling their schedule to take the 1 o'clock game and putting it into a primetime game, then you guys can sit there and tell me the NFL is piggybacking off of the popularity of Taylor Swift.
No, that's not what I said. That's not even what I said. What I said is if this whole fiasco of Taylor Swift, if anyone benefits from it, it's the NFL. That's what I said. That's
And
the
I'm
only
and I'm saying,
party that benefits from it, if anyone,
because
is the NFL
viewership,
because of the higher
and here's
ratings.
how they benefit from viewership. They
Yeah.
benefit from new viewership because
Yeah.
now people who weren't really into football, they're like now,
They're tuning in.
now
exactly what happened.
the Kansas City Chiefs monetarily they get more money because their ticket sales go up and the sales of his jersey goes up.
And his
that
jersey.
doesn't.
I don't understand how is that not benefiting.
But that's the entire point you just said, because they're taking the fact that Taylor Swift mean there, but unless the NFL is going to have her there or she's going to come to every single Chief game, then you can sit there and say, okay, she started dating this guy in week 4.
But we don't know if she's going to come to every game.
Let me finish before you guys interject.
Go ahead.
But you ain't saying nothing
because you keep talking.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
What I'm sitting there saying is this: unless Taylor Swift is going to come to every single Kansas City game, right? That increases viewership, but she's got to be at every single game. If she's not there, the NFL is not going to juggle their schedule around to take the Chiefs games and put them in the prime time when you get a better viewership. They're not going to do that one, right? They're not going to make the Chiefs the poster team, the NFL, so that every Sunday night game, every Monday night game, every Thursday night game, they're switching their schedule around because Taylor Swift is going to come. The NFL is not going to charge vendors like the commercials. They're not going to charge more because Taylor Swift might be in the audience. They're not going to increase ticket sales because Taylor Swift might be in, because most Chiefs games by now are already close to sold out. They're not, so it doesn't benefit. If you want to say if she's there, then if people watch game, okay, current, but she's not going to every single game, so it doesn't benefit the NFL in the long run. Okay. Even if now she comes in, and let's just sit there and say, for the sake of this discussion,
long or short run, the NFL benefited.
They benefit from it regardless. And I'm gonna tell you where I again disagree. I'm gonna tell you why I disagree again. Number one, we don't know if she's going to be at every single game.
We already know that because she wasn't at the game
wait
yesterday.
A minute. Now I let you talk. Let me talk. We don't know if she's going to be at every single game, right? But guess what? That doesn't matter because her fan base, if they even think she's going to be there, is going to tune in. Okay, so this is a whole nother level you dealing with, dude. When you talk about, Brady was married to Giselle. Wilson's married to Sierra. Even when Romo was dating Jessica Simpson, that was probably one of the bigger ones at the time. But guess what? And let's say when Reggie Bush was with Kim Kardashian, but none of them have the fan base that this woman has. The fact that these people went out and purchased jerseys to put Swiftie on the back, and they're purchasing Kelsey's jersey. And it's not just the Chiefs. Like I just told you, I saw a bunch of people with Viking jerseys on that had Swiftie on the back. So her fan base is different, bro. So that's what I'm saying. The fact that they don't know exactly when she's going to be there actually helps the NFL even more because they're still going to tune in, even if they're not sure if she's there. So,
and not only that, to reiterate what Wes said, the individual owners benefit because fans who are Taylor Swift fans, no matter what franchise you're with, they're getting those jerseys with Swiftie on the back. So now they're purchasing official NFL jerseys and then have Swiftie put on the back. which means what? They're Taylor Swift fans.
They benefit from it.
Football fans.
Which is the NFL benefits from that. No matter which way you slice it, if you take which out of the three parties that stand to benefit from this whole fiasco, it's the NFL that will benefit more so than Kelsey, more so than Taylor Swift. Because Kelsey doesn't need Taylor Swift. And I mean, as far as that goes for popularity, and Taylor Swift doesn't need Kelsey for popularity. There's no benefit for them. All right. But the only party that could and would benefit is the NFL. And they have. Because the fact that she showed up to that first game, their first home opener, then that's why the Sunday night game that everyone knew they were going to be on was such a high rating. It was one of the highest, if not the highest, Sunday night rated game as far as watched viewership. So they definitely benefit from it. Now, no one says that the NFL needs Taylor Swift, but you damn right they're going to lean into it as much as they can to just keep the people watching. I mean, if you just look at any of the shows, they're talking about it. If the Chiefs, like I said, I watched that whole Chiefs game. I don't know how many times they brought up Taylor Swift. She wasn't even there. They were still talking about it. Like I said, fans showed up hoping she'd be there with Swiftie jerseys on.
Mike
Fans
Tirico.
on my team.
Mike Tirico. All of the daytime shows, or all of the sports newscasting shows, were all talking about Taylor Swift all week.
Yeah, yeah. And every time they mention her,
I don't doubt that because. But that's not simply because the Taylor Swift was dating Kelsey. They be doing that when the Taylor Swift was dating you. You would talk.
She's come. No, it's just the fact that she's come into the games. Right, she's dating one of the players. She's under the game. I mean,
I'm about specifically sportscasters.
Yeah, the sportscasters. That's what we're talking about. He's talking about like the shows in the daytime. Yeah, if someone of her stature, like I said, we've had them in the past, big names as well, but none of those people had the fan base that this woman has. She has one of those obsessive fan base, like the Beehive, like the Barbs. She has one of those type of fan bases, those fandoms. Fandoms, they call.
You know the best way to put it? Taylor Swift fan base is equal to the NFL's fan base.
No.
You don't know that. How can you say that though? You don't know that because remember the NFL's ratings has been down the few seasons. Remember after the Kaepernick thing, it took a hit. They took a big hit after Kaepernick
for 3 years.
Yeah, a lot of people stopped watching football after Kaepernick.
No, I agree with that one. However, like it was said in the movie, the NFL has an unofficial national holiday. Taylor Swift, unless Taylor Swift has an unofficial birthday day for the country shuts down for the Super Bowl. They ain't shutting down for Taylor.
The country doesn't shut down. Sorry, the country doesn't shut down for the Super Bowl.
But you know I'm talking. But you know about when I say that particular statement for the Super Bowl.
I guarantee you, if they pull Usher right now and replace him with Taylor Swift, the Super Bowl will break the internet.
Yeah, it would. And now, because of this, that's what's funny that this happened the way it happened. Because had this have happened pre-season, we probably wouldn't have got Usher. We probably would have got Taylor Swift. Had this would have happened, whenever, last year, because they start finding out who they're gonna do, months before. And Usher he said in the interview he had to hold it in for a long time. But trust me, if they knew that, let's say they got together off season, these two got together and became news and stuff like that. Oh yeah, we'd have got Taylor Swift. And we may not even have got her this year because she's in the middle of a tour. I mean, I don't know, but
she's a workaholic. She would have made it work.
Yeah, true.
Nah,
So
I don't think it with her being in the middle of a tour. No, I don't think you interrupt your tour for this because that's
No,
a lot of
it would be
commitment.
added
well, I
to the.
mean, it's. I
That's a
mean, she's
lot
in
of
the tour.
commitment.
It's a Sunday. You know, I mean, it all depends. Maybe you will. Maybe I mean,
You still got to rehearse all that stuff. It's more.
Here's why I say it would is
yeah,
because one, her production is already put together. So the only
yeah.
thing she got to do is take her already put together production and add it to the Super Bowl.
Add a few things, maybe a few light shows or whatever. That's pretty much what the weekend did. He didn't really do nothing special. He just kind of did a show that he would have did. I mean, I don't see any different from any of the other shows that he did. He had the thing with the what was it like the clones or whatever that he had. But anyhow, I believe if they'd have got together back in the off season, we'd probably be seeing Taylor Swift instead of Usher. But yeah. Bottom line is Taylor Swift fandom is ridiculous. They different, yo. If you just watch,
And thanks to
I am
Kanye
not
and
going to
thanks to
debate that.
Kanye West.
Same thing. We can say the same thing with Beyonce's fan base. Beyonce got a massive the Beehive.
yes, you did. Yes, yeah, I agree. They do have, but I already told you this before. As much as Beyonce, as great as Beyonce is, and as popular as she is, she's not as popular as Taylor Swift. She's just not. And I know that's hard pill to swallow. She's more popular on our side, meaning like
Agreed.
Black people. You know what I'm saying? With black people and Beyonce, trust me, a lot of what, especially overseas, Beyonce's big with non-black people. You know what I'm saying? We already know that.
In
But I'm
America,
just saying.
thanks to Kanye West. You see, if
Yeah.
Kanye West wouldn't have said what he said that night during that MTV Video Music Awards, the situation would be a little bit different right now. He
I
created
agree.
a
I agree with that. I can agree with that. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. If he didn't pop his lid during MTV Awards all them years ago, then would Taylor Swift become the person that she is now? Debatable.
I don't know.
Debatable.
I mean, I'm not going to debate that. Yes, she would. Yes, she would. Because once again, Taylor Swift already, MTV Awards, Taylor Swift already had a huge fan base. Remember, she started as a country artist. All right. She started in the genre of country. She already had a huge fan base. By the time she got to the MTV Awards, she had already crossed over to pop. So
Well,
yes,
I mean, well, no,
we have to learn to understand the different. I mean, I'm not saying I'm saying of course Ralph, you've traveled the world, so the vast majority of the world is not set on what we, meaning urban and stuff like that, think. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course. Taylor Swift is not as popular amongst black people. That's just a fact. But just because she's not doesn't mean that on a scale of globally that she's not more popular. And if you don't think she's more popular, then why has she sold more records than Beyonce?
Well, I'm going to say this, right? To back up what Kevin said, at that point in time, 2000, what was that, 8, 9, that point in time, I can't look at Taylor Swift with the same thing when Kevin said if Kanye didn't do what he did, she would still be the person. I can't sit there and say with a whole lot of yes, and I can sit there and say it's debatable because at that time everybody was gearing toward Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga, right? Taylor Swift certainly has pushed herself way past the two of them.
Was that 2009? Because if that was 2009, Taylor Swift had already sold 4.6 million albums.
How many?
2009.
Okay, how many record sales did Gaga have? How many sales did Miley Cyrus had at that point in time?
I'm not talking about Gaga, but I mean, I can look it up.
I'm saying this because at that point in time, because I did live overseas at that time, I had heard of Lady Gaga and I heard of Miley Cyrus more from Miley Cyrus because it's a Disney show than her solo music. But at that point in time, I just told you guys when I came back and I happened to walk in the interview awards, that was the first time I had ever heard of Taylor Swift. First time. And that
First
That's what I'm
time
saying.
because you're not checking for her. So I understand that. A lot of people who ain't checking for you may not have known.
No. Military, we have radios playing. We have radio playing all day, every day. The armed forces radio. Everybody. I had never heard. The first time I ever heard of Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga before her album really hit the U.S. Poker Face. I had already heard of her.
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard of Taylor Swift. But at that point in time, the two main people, if you want to say the pop side, I kept hearing about was Gaga and Cyrus. Knew the two of them was. I had never heard of Taylor Swift. So
well, I'm gonna just to enlighten.
I am going to knock Taylor Swift. But the question that Kevin asked, if Kanye didn't pop his lid, would Taylor Swift become this particular version of her?
I say yes. I say most definitely yes. Because in 2000, Taylor Swift her first album was in 2006. She sold 7 times platinum. She sold 7 million albums. 7 times platinum, her first album. Second album, 2008, Diamond. So, yes, Taylor Swift would still be Taylor Swift. Actually, all that did was just kind of hurt Kanye more than help Taylor Swift, in my opinion, because people was going at him because of that, because of what he did. And like I said, once again, in the urban community, maybe, but not worldwide. All that did was just turn people against Kanye. Same thing happened to him when he said what he said about Beyonce. When he finally turned on Beyonce and stuff like that. But he even said when he went on that rant, he said I was canceled. He said he's like people was canceling me for 4 or 5 years after what I did for Beyonce. I went up there and I was repping for Beyonce, and I caught all the backlash for y'all. He was just kind of ranting, saying, and y'all gonna turn your backs on me, and I basically put my career on the line for her.
But so nobody asked you to do it, bro.
No, nobody asked him to do it. But I'm just saying, no, exactly. That's just him, right? That's how he does. But that's what I'm saying. 2006, 7 times platinum. 2000, the album in US was number 5 on the pop charts. Fearless is her second album, number 1 in the US, Diamond album. 2010, Speak Now, number 1 in the US, number 1 in Australia, number 1 in Canada. That was 6 times platinum. That's what I'm saying. So in actuality, before, like I said, she was selling a lot of records before that incident even happened.
And not only that, and not only that, we're not even taking into account the fact that when she told her fans, "Don't buy that, buy this."
Right. Like I said, she's the only person that I've ever seen do that. Even Prince didn't pull that off because people were still buying Prince's old stuff. Because Prince didn't even do it that way. He just did new music and sold it directly. He was an innovator with that, sold it directly to his fan base. But what she did was redo her old stuff, a 10-year album, old album that she redid because she owned her publishing. She just didn't own her masters. So she redid it, made new masters, and told her fans, buy that. Don't buy that.
I've never heard anybody do that before. That's a lot of us. But
she actually taught a lot of people. That's revolutionary right there. You know what I'm saying? And everybody needs to follow her. Only the people. Unfortunately, there's a small group that can do it. You have to first own your publishing because you can't do it. See, that's why Ashanti can't do it because Irv Gotti owns her publishing. You see. Mm-hmm. So if he didn't own her publishing, she could do the same thing, and whoever else. So you must first own your publishing. If you do, then you can re-record your albums under a new, just redo it, whatever. Add and that's what she did. She changed it ever so slightly. She may add another hook or add another bridge to it. or this, that, and the other, but it's the same song, or do an acoustic version of it, or whatever, but it's the same song. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, and this is how you understand. You're not checking for Taylor Swift. That's why you don't really know,
It,
how popular she
it
really is.
it's like, you know who I can kind of sort of put in the same vein, to a degree, to a small degree, is Sia. Nobody in the United States knew who Sia was, except for a handful of us. I had Sia's first first two albums, from when she was touring from her original country, when she was doing her music from there. And then boom, she got that one song, Chandeliers, and I think there was a song before that, and Sia took off here.
Yeah.
Writing and all the stuff that she was doing. But I had already been listening to Sia for 2 or 3 years before anybody in America was really checking for her.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's real crazy, man. A lot of people don't. A lot of people. I mean, true. I mean, I knew who she was back then. I knew who she was. I didn't really listen to her. There was a couple of songs that she had out that I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I didn't really listen to her. And like I said, if you're not checking for her, you really won't know how
Nope.
popular she really is, because you don't listen to her style of music, really. I'm assuming
And
if you
like I
did,
said,
you would have known.
and the reason why I can kind of sort of agree with what, not even kind of sort of, I can agree with him, is because there's two people in my office. Christine, she's an avid country music listener, and one of my other clients, Kurt, he was a Taylor Swift fan. We thought it was kind of creepy a little bit. It's like, wait a minute, you like Taylor Swift? But he's like a true fan. Like, his daughter liked her, he liked her, and he would take his daughter and granddaughter to her concerts.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Those country music fans, they kind of like look. Garth Brooks to this day still sells hundreds of millions of records, and it's like,
yeah,
what the hell, So
oh yeah, they're gonna
I wouldn't
continue.
discount that part at all. I was just, yeah, like I mean, he sells more records than almost, like, if you put a greatest hits album out, it'll sell millions of copies, but people already got it.
Yeah.
They just keep getting it. And so like country fans, I don't discount them all. I mean,
here's the last day I said. Here's the pecking order of the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I'll just go by it. So, of female artists sales, female artists by reputed sales of all time. On top is Madonna, 300 million records sold. Right. Then you have the second tier is 200 million or more records sold. You have Rihanna, Mariah Carey, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Whitney Houston, and Celine Dion. They're in the 200 million or more club, right? And they have the pictures of them there. Rihanna has 250 million. Mariah Carey's 220 million. Taylor Swift is 200 million. Beyonce's 200 million. Whitney Houston 200 million. Celine Dion 200 million. So they're all now about even. If this is updated, they're about even now. Those last four. And then you drop to like Barbara Streisand, Katy Perry, which this is the 100 million to 199 million. Streisand, look, Barbara Streisand. When's the last time she made a record? She's, I mean, I guess she has been, or just people just been buying her stuff. Katy Perry,
Barbara Streisand just got a loyal fan base from day zero.
Loyal, yeah, exactly. Lady Gaga is in that range there. Adele, Nicki Minaj, the only rapper up in here. Yeah, Nicki Minaj is between 100 million and 199 million, which she sold actually. Nicki Minaj sold, she's in the 100 million. So like there's a whole bunch of them that's in that 100 million range, from Nicki Minaj, Pink, Britney Spears, Shania Twain, Janet Jackson, Cher, Gloria Estefan, Tina Turner, Olivia Newton-John, Linda Ronstadt, Donna Summer, Dolly Parton, Diana Ross, Dionne Warwick, all in the 100 million. They have them estimated sales at 100 million. Above them is Adele at 120, Lady Gaga at 124, Shirley Bassey at 140,
Wow.
and Katy Perry at 143, Barbara Streisand at 150. So this is the type of so Taylor Swift is in that second tier, the 200 or more range. So she's right there, yo. Madonna's been in the business since 1979. So she stayed active pretty much she's still active. She still
Still
every
going.
now and then makes records. So it's gonna be tough to catch her if they do at all. It's not. Rihanna's at 250, so she could catch her. So
I don't think Rihanna, unless Rihanna go back to doing a brand.
yeah,
Like,
if she start
she do
doing
new
more
music
records,
again.
yeah, she do new. But that's pretty much that.
Yeah.
That's and Taylor she's out there, man. She's that one. Trust me, we're gonna see a repeat of this when Beyonce's movie, because that movie also is starting to do pre-sales. And I did the same thing I did with Taylor Swift. I looked on my AMC app, and every theater that I'm looking at is like almost full, almost full, almost full. So it's gonna be a repeat, same deal when her joint drops. They just have these fandoms that just won't quit. And as we mentioned, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Nicki Minaj both on these big lists. They're the ones that have those big fandoms. Rihanna Navy, she has one too. The Rihanna Navy. So
When you can go,
Rihanna Navy.
when you can go,
yeah, that's her
whisper,
fandom.
when you can go online and whisper to your fan base, and you ain't.
You don't even. You can just be subliminal. It can just be subliminal.
If you go on your fan base and say a subliminal, get them, and they come for you. The two that are the worst, is the Beehive and the Barbs.
Let me tell you something. If Beyonce, let's just say someone decided to say something bad about Beyonce, right? Let's just say one of these, somebody at Fox News. I don't know, anybody. Let's take them out of it. Let's do an entertainer says something. Beyonce could literally post a picture of a bee. And the hive, it's on. They're going at that person, and they're gonna stay on them until God knows how long. She doesn't do that. Let me put that for the record. She doesn't do that. I'm just saying she could if she wanted to.
And here's the scary part about it. People in the industry, Beyonce is considered like you don't say nothing sideways about her. Because
she's royalty.
You don't know whether Jay gonna come for you,
yeah,
or whether
she's practically untouchable.
She's royalty. Yeah, she's royalty, and that came from Jay. Jay is the one who put her on that. Because remember, she seemed not now, because right now while she's doing this tour, she seems very more humble, right? But at one point, she didn't seem as humble. That was Jay's thing, because he wanted to put her on that pedestal. Look, you a queen, you the queen. So guess what? That you guys saw, you can't be accessible. People can't take pictures of you. People like all of that stuff. He wasn't letting people take photos. There's video footage of Jay himself snatching cameras out of people's hands. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't want her to be caught in a bad light. There's a whole video which they're at this party. And Beyonce was drinking a little bit, and she partying and dancing with her girls. And there's a guy in there with his phone, and he's dancing with all of them, and he got his phone out, and he's recording the whole thing. Yo, Jay snatched that phone from him, like because he's like, yo, I know what Jay's thinking. He's like, yo, you ain't gonna put this shit on the internet and have everybody talk about Beyonce drunk in the club. So what if she is? You know what I'm saying? But that's what he's like. Nope. Snatch the camera from him, or snatch his phone from him. I'd have been, I don't care. They'd have had to throw me out of there, because I'd be like, bro, you touch my phone, it's on. You just gotta throw me out of there. I'm sorry. But at the same time, and the funny thing is, Beyonce looked right at like she didn't care. It wasn't her, it was him. She is having fun. She was, if memory served me correctly, she might have even been like playing to the camera, but she was not. She wasn't sober. So Jay took it upon himself. But yeah, she's considered royalty. Like I said before, we mentioned this before. Rihanna to me is more down to earth. You know what I'm saying? She's more that person where you can hang out with Rihanna. If she ain't got nothing to do and you run into Rihanna, she'll hang out with you. You know what I'm saying? She's just that down to earth. She's done it before. Did it with that couple in Vegas. That was one of the big headlines. I think they had just got married or something like that, and she ran into them in the elevator or something like that and hung out with them the whole night. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you don't even know these people, but yeah. So you would never see Beyonce doing it. Even if she wanted to, Jay would have shut that down.
Listen, even Memphis Bleak was like he tried to get Beyonce tickets for him and his. He eventually got the tickets, but he was trying to go through regular channels, and and Jay's people was like, "Why are you talking to us? Talk to Jay." And Memphis was like, "Nah, you don't do that." But he had to because his wife was pressing him. So Jay was like, "Why you coming to me?" He's like, "Yo, your people sent me to you." And Memphis was like, "Yo, this is what you do. Tell me who on her team that I need to talk to get these tickets." Because and that's what he did. He eventually ended up getting the tickets from people on her team, but that goes to say a lot. Like even Jay was like, "Nigga, I ain't got. Why you coming to me? My name ain't Beyonce."
You sound just like you said right there. You sound just like yo. Why you coming at me?
Yeah,
you
that's
sound just like Shaw. Yo, why you coming at me?
He said, "Why you coming at me, yo? Why you coming at me?" Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, man. So now, what I said at the top of the show, time to set the record straight. So Disney apparently have pulled one of the. Okay, so obviously, just to give everybody a perspective who doesn't know, obviously you have to submit for your consideration list to the Oscars, all of it, to everyone that you in the award show. So the Academy Awards, you submit a bunch of stuff for your consideration for an Academy Award. So under the Little Mermaid, one of the many things I'm sure Disney submitted, uh, they had originally only submitted one original song for the original song category, and that was the song, I think it was called, I forgot what it was called, for the first time. I think that was the original. That was the new song that Halle Bailey sang in The Little Mermaid. Like it wasn't the original animation. It was a new song made for the movie,
Live action.
which for the live action movie, which basically was when she first got to land and she's looking around and seeing everything. It was in her head. It was playing in her head. So the song was like, yeah, okay. So that's what the song was. That was the only original song that was submitted, which is weird. I don't know what they decide about these songs on submitting them, because I did some research and apparently Part of Your World wasn't even submitted the first time.
Because it's not original. It's not an original song.
The what from the first one?
Oh, from the original.
The first movie. Yeah, the original animation. Part of Your World. What was submitted was Kiss the Girl and Under the Sea, which actually won the Oscar. Under the Sea. For whatever reason, I thought that was strange, but they did not submit Part of Your World. I have no reason why. So I was like, oh, because I thought they didn't submit it this time because of that same thing you just said, Ralph. It's not an original song. It's a re-record of the song that was an original song back when the original animation came out. But they didn't even submit it then. So technically, they could have submitted it now because they never submitted it. But I knew they weren't gonna submit that anyway.
Mm.
But yeah, so that one song was submitted, and then now apparently it's not there. It's not on the list anymore. So you have to assume that it was withdrawn. They're not submitting a best original song, which I don't think they are. I think people are jumping the gun because they're looking at the official website that had the list no longer has that song on the list. But I guess they still had time, so I don't know if that officially means they withdrew it or are they maybe replacing it with another song. Don't know. But I don't know what they can replace it with because that's pretty much the only song you can submit because it's a new song. When are they
I
gonna
hope
submit the Scuttlebutt?
that's
You
what I'm
know?
about to say. I hope they don't submit that one because I mean, although I
No,
thought it was comical, no, it's
no,
not
that's
Oscar
stupid.
worthy. No, no.
But now, but the funny thing is, now that song definitely is not Oscar worthy. But see, they made that mistake with "We Don't Talk About Bruno." Disney made that mistake and did not submit "We Don't Talk About Bruno" because they did not realize how popular that song was going to become when they submitted it. They submitted most of the time you like to submit either the ballad, the love song of the movie, usually, what was that? A Whole New World. You know what I'm saying? That's the love song.
Let it
So,
go. God, let it
Let It
go.
Go. That's the solo, the big song there. Then you got all of the love songs. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Or stuff like that. Those songs get submitted normally. So this one it's either the solo from the lead or like the love song, like a duet. It's never usually. I'm surprised that but it was really one character singing that though. That was just Sebastian really singing it. I was gonna say because normally group songs like the Lion King wasn't gonna submit Hakuna Matata even though it was a popular song. I don't think they submitted that for consideration, but who knows? Um, but normally group songs, that's probably why they kind of overthought it and outsmarted themselves with "We Don't Talk About Bruno." And "We Don't Talk About Bruno" was the first Disney song that went to number one since A Whole New World. Not even "Let It Go" made it to number one, surprisingly. But anyhow, so now apparently they pulled it. We don't know why. I think that's kind of strange that they pulled it if they did. But the false narrative that's going around is that because it obviously gets more clicks, is that Disney pulls Holly Bailey from the Oscars. Now that's technically that's a caveat, right? It's not that because she's still considered. They still put her in for Best Actress consideration for the role of Ariel. Now, I want to address the false narrative, then I want to address what's actually happening and get your opinion or whatever. But the false narrative is people putting headlines literally saying, like I said, one of these hack websites I call them, I can't stand them because they're really not news. They're just gossip, and I do not like that. But anyway, and they're a big site too. They put a headline that says um Holly Disney pulls pregnant Holly Bailey something about pregnant Holly Bailey song or from the Oscars, something like that. Basically they were saying they pulled her stuff from the Oscars because of her alleged pregnancy but they said pregnancy. That was their words, not mine. They said pregnancy, or whatever. So backlash or something like that. And I said, okay, number one, we don't know if she's pregnant or not. She may be, she may not be. Not really our business, but number two, it's crazy to assume that when you don't know for sure. and the fact that they did not pull her movie from the Oscars. And that's what the narrative that people are going with. These headlines are making you believe that Disney completely pulled The Little Mermaid from Oscar consideration. That is not true. They are considered for about 9 categories that they put in, including Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, including, I don't know, some sort of costume design, whatever design, including original score, which surprised me because the same guy who did the original score, but maybe it's a little bit different this time. And then that song was considered, and that had obviously Lin-Manuel Miranda, who wrote the lyrics, and the same dude who composed most of the songs from the original. He composed that too. So just want to throw that out there. We are not into fake news here, and I'm not going to spread a narrative that I do not know to be 100% true. Now, with that being said, it's still a little weird to me that they would pull this song because it's the only number one. They usually consider more than one song. They usually put more than one in. I know it's a little different when it comes to these remakes because you got to find it's just like with the Lion King. I think they put Beyonce's song as consideration because it was a new song when the Lion King live action. Most of the other songs I believe was already put in for consideration, so it's a little tricky with this. The only new songs was her song that for the first time. Then you had, I think you had the Scuttlebutt, and then I think there was one more that was maybe the guy. Did he ever sing a song in the original? I don't remember, but
I don't recall
I don't
the
recall
guy
either. But
singing
he
the
had a
song.
song in the live action. So I don't know. It's tough. I don't know why they would do that in the first place. I'm hopeful that maybe they are either considering something else. Maybe for whatever reason it's not on the website. It was originally on the website and now it's not there. Meaning like the list that they had for consideration, it's not there. But like I said, Halle Bailey, is still there. Of course, it'd be great for her to be considered. And here's now back to the rumor or what they're assuming, which, like I said, doesn't mean that it's not true. But I don't like to portray it as true if I don't know for sure. But they're saying that they're pulling her song out of consideration because of her being pregnant. They don't want her. Normally you show up and sing the song at the Oscars. That's in consideration. So, number one, if Halle Berry is pregnant, would she still be pregnant when the Oscars went on? They've been talking about that for a while. But she might be though. The Oscars usually go on in March, right? So she may. It's depends on when she allegedly got pregnant. Yeah, probably would because 9 months pregnancy, so she probably would still be pregnant. Probably ready to pop at that point. So I'm not denying that it could be true. If it is, it kind of sucks.
But here's so what? How many artists from Beyonce to Nicki Minaj to whoever have all performed pregnant?
Not for Disney though.
And I'm going to sit there, and I think that this entire story is bull because if you sit back and you look at that list, the conspiracy theorist media takeout. Let me ask you a question: if you feel that Disney removed Halle Berry for consideration for an Oscar for original song, then why did they keep her in there for lead actress?
Right, exactly. Because either other way, If she's nominated, she'll more than likely show up. Now, it's funny. I asked that same question, Ralph, to someone who first told me this, and they were like, because they believed that all of that stuff. So they were like, well, she doesn't have to show up for the best actress nomination, but she has to show up for the best song because
No,
she
she
has to
don't.
sing it.
No,
She
she
don't
don't.
have to show up. She don't have to show up, and she don't have to sing it either.
But here's my thing: Disney don't want that kind of smoke.
Exactly.
And you
Disney
As
can.
don't.
much as Disney bends over backwards to try to avoid that type of stuff.
And listen, and ever since the black community is showing up for Disney because of Black Panther, they don't want that smoke. They do not want the reverse smoke from that. Go
No.
ahead and try to
I
go
mean,
ahead.
the movie did catch a lot of unfortunate hate and overwhelming controversy and hate because it says here, I'm reading this other article. While many many right leaning have been criticized, have been criticizing the live action adaptation of the Little Mermaid for its quote unquote woke. Here we go again, woke. The quote unquote woke changes and colorblind casting. One conservative critic has stated that it doesn't prevent the movie from being an enjoyable experience. So just reading that there. So obviously they talk about the Little Mermaid, not just another Disney wokeathon, claims conservative critic. So yeah, we all know when obviously from day one when she was cast as Ariel, it was a big thing. Controversy after controversy. And I mean the movie ended up in the box office taking away about 500 something million, right? Worldwide. Um it was hoped and expected to do more than that, but that's still not a bad run, right? They were expecting a little more, and they were hoping for a little more, but obviously the backlash did contribute to that.
Well, the backlash, and again, pandemic, coming out of a pandemic.
Mhm.
I mean, for films this year, any film that came out in 2023 is where that the underlying the underscore of pandemic kind of
Yeah,
sort of gets like not so much because people are outside.
yeah, now, yeah, they're outside now. But I mean, yeah, like I said, it ended
I
up at
can't
like
blame. I can't blame the
five
pandemic on this no
million.
more. I
On
can't blame the
at this
pandemic on this
point,
no
No,
they're
more.
no,
outside in
on this
this year.
year, you still can. It still falls into that category because that's when the movie theaters were still coming back. They
I
weren't 100% back when that
cat.
Well,
movie
I mean,
opened.
this movie came
Wait,
out this year though.
exactly. And you got this real big movie that came out this year called Barbie, and then you got the second big movie called Oppenheimer. And
But
as
it
I keep
came out
saying,
later in the year. Barbie came
it
out
came out.
later in the year. You're
It came
talking
out
about in the
July,
beginning,
July,
and yeah,
July.
July
The
during the
Little
summer
Mermaid came out
season.
in
So
June, so it ain't that
Yeah,
much. It ain't. It
just
ain't
a
like
month earlier.
it's
I
just
yeah,
think I don't
exactly.
know
but
if the
We're talking
pandemic
about
hurt it
Barbie.
as much.
there's still a huge difference in the audience that's showing up for that.
It's definitely no. I agree with you there because the Little Mermaid it did do well when it came to streaming. It was one of the biggest things on Disney Plus. It was one of the highest streamed movies on Disney Plus when it came to streaming finally. So people who didn't go watch it in the movie theaters watched it on Disney Plus. But the point is, here's the difference of it. That's a great thing, but they didn't, for whatever reason, didn't take the chance or opportunity to go see it in the theaters where it really makes its money. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the difference between it. Whereas the billion whatever dollars worth of people that went to see Barbie took the chance to go see or whatever you want to call it, or whatever reason they felt it was necessary to go out and see
And
Barbie or
also,
whatever.
and also the difference between Barbie and Little Mermaid is you're dealing that's like with with our super Marvel superhero fan base when when Marvel started dropping movies. We showed up for everything. The same thing is going to happen with older women that were fans of Barbie, and on top of
I
the young
have to
women.
think that if a white person was playing Ariel, it would have made more than $500 million.
It most absolutely would have. And
Yeah.
I mean, and also because we showed up for that movie, but we didn't show up like we should have showed up for that movie, and
Yeah,
that's what was
exactly.
disappointing to me.
That's what the disappointing. We should have came out like we did for Black Panther. We should have came out to support that because
I agree.
you know what I mean. That we should have came. We meaning us, Black people, should have came out and supported this and Joe's. But that's the problem. That's the problem with the urban and Black community. Sometimes they're too busy. They're so caught up in the social media. They're too busy, hating on that end and doing stuff like that. Not, she doesn't get as much hate as her sister, unfortunately. Fortunately, I should say for her. And I don't even want to get into that. I mean, by the way, side note, anyone who loves music, go watch Chloe Bailey's Tiny Desk performance, please. You will have a treat. That woman can sing.
Mm-hmm.
I refer to her as a girl. That woman can sing, and I'm gonna tell you this, and they can get mad all you want. She's actually sings a little better than Hailey. She has more control over her voice than Hailey because her low register is ridiculous, and she can sing high too, but her low register is crazy. It's lower. She registers lower than Beyonce. You know how when Beyonce hits that low register,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes she registers lower than her. And her Tiny Desk performance was awesome. She didn't have no backup singers. She sang all herself. All she had was a dope band, and her voice is an instrument in itself.
In itself.
You know what I'm saying? So check out the Tiny Desk performance with Chloe Bailey. You will not be disappointed. She ran through about maybe 6, 7 of her songs, maybe 6. Small choice of her songs from her album, and I swear I think she should put out a acoustic version of this. The way she sung it on this, she should put an album out because it almost it teetered on the line of neo soul the way she was singing it. This way with the Tiny Desk, with her band. Just a sidebar there. But anyway, the hate that I agree with Disney not wanting certain type of smoke, but I also wouldn't completely put it past them if in fact this situation is anywhere near truth. Them trying to figure something out. They're not taking like Kev pointed out, or maybe even Ralph, both of y'all pointed out. If they wanted her out of there completely, why not take her out of consideration altogether?
Exactly.
You're only taking out that one song. So you took out that one song that you submitted. We don't know why. I wish I could figure out why, but it lessens her chances to come home with an Oscar. But at the same time, they are still considered her for Best Actress. Now, if she was by some lucky reason, way to win that's better than winning it for song because that's something you already sing. This, you know what I'm saying? To be recognized as an actor in that fashion, I would think is a little bit better than the song. That's what I was saying.
This is the only thing I'm gonna sit there and say, if for the conspiracy theorists out there, is that I think the reason why Disney would have took her out of Best Actress is because in Best Original Song she would have had a more legitimate shot, whereas her being Best Actress is right now a long shot. Sorry, but it really is. Right.
Of course.
So if that's what your conspiracy theory is based on, okay. But for all its purposes, this could be nothing more than just a simple computer glitch that
oversight. Yeah, maybe they took it off by accident. Maybe because it was on there. There was no official word from Disney. Disney didn't officially say we're withdrawing it from consideration. That's just someone found the list when it was on, and then they found the list when it wasn't on. So that's where this is coming from. There's no official word, no official nothing. So now we come back, we still have a few months before the Oscars even release their nomination. Or when's the nominations? In December?
That's not till like sometime in January. We still got plenty of time.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. There's still plenty of time. So, I mean, let's not jump the gun
This
here.
doesn't want that smoke.
Right. And look at this. This is what these type of sites are creating that narrative because everyone they can't wait to yell racism or yell this or yell that when we already know that there's racism surrounding this whole movie, unfortunately. But people are so quick to say, yeah, I just wanted to set the record straight that Halle Bailey has not been withdrawn from consideration of the Academy Awards. The song,
all of that,
which is
I could
not,
go with that
even though
narrative
she's
if
singing, it ain't her song. I don't even know if she gets an Oscar if she wins. I guess she does because she's singing.
Nope.
I don't know if she gets it. The
Nope.
writers get them.
The
writers
writers
Yeah.
get it, but she comes along for the ride because she performed it. But
Right.
even with that,
Mm-hmm.
Disney again doesn't want that smoke, and that's why, like Ralph said, I believe it was a glitch or an error.
Oversight. Yeah, some sort of oversight error. I believe so too. And then once you get that screenshot, baby, people go, "Oh God, they took her out! They took her out!" They just looking for something.
And again, people wanting to stir the pot of racism because they want to keep that narrative going. Even if it's unnecessary, I won't say it's unnecessary because that's been the thing that's plagued this movie in the first place is the quote unquote racism of it all and the fact that but if you really understood the mythos of mermaids come in different complexions and colors and shapes and sizes. So
Nobody wants to hear that. Now, I mean, I'm not saying us. I mean, these idiots don't want to hear that. They just want to hear, "Oh, she's supposed to be white." Okay.
I mean,
just like they're gonna say the same thing when someone got the guts to put out a picture with a movie with Jesus not being white. They're gonna say the same.
There is one coming. Actually.
Yeah, I know that one with Keith Stansfield in there. You talking about that one?
And to piggyback on that statement, it's just as stupid as the people who were screaming at Scarlett Johansson for playing who she played in Ghost in the Shell, which if you actually watched the movie of Ghost in the Shell, that character wasn't Asian in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't
in the game?
No, in the movie Ghost in the Shell, in the movie, the cartoon,
right? She was
the
right.
original,
She was
the original anime,
right.
The original anime.
Okay. In the original anime show.
Yeah, she was not depicted as an yes, she had an Asian name, but she was not. That's not how they drew her on screen.
Yeah, I mean, people always got.
Yeah, because I think that one's a little different because it's based on a Japanese comic book, so you would kind of sort of think that the person that drew
it's based off of the movie is actually based off of the anime. It's not based off the manga. It's based off the anime.
I'm looking here. It says I'm looking here. It says it's based off the manga of the same name by Masamino Shiro. This is the '95 movie, so you kind of think.
I could tell you because I own 3 different versions of that movie, and I've watched it countless times. Thank you for me and Wes's mutual friend Doug who put me on to that. Back in the day, back in the '90s, he put me on the Ghost in the Shell, and I can 100% tell you that the way they did the movie like they did the anime. It wasn't done like the manga. It was done more so like the anime.
So now apparently the Michael Jackson biopic lands at Universal. for international, it says. Alrighty then. It says Universal has taken the international rights to Michael Jackson's biopic. Michael Jackson line it's just called Michael. Lionsgate is behind the project, which will be directed by Antoine Fuqua, and Jackson's nephew Jafar Jackson will play him in the film. About the singer's life, the Universal deal encompasses all international rights, excluding Japan. Graham King, a seasoned hand at biopics with the Oscar-winning. It's kind of cut off there. I don't know where that is, but basically, so Universal's only handling international rights for the Michael Jackson biopic, and
I
I'm
don't
happy.
care about that. The only thing I care about is Antoine Fuqua.
I'm glad Antoine Fuqua is directing it. I feel confident he'll deliver it right. I'm glad that his nephew is playing him because he looks enough like him. The the fact that they all of these debacles that they've tried up until now of depicting Michael Jackson, other than that Jackson movie, the Jackson American story or whatever it was called, the movie.
Yeah, that was a good
And
movie.
that was good, the way they depicted everyone in that. But since then, oh my God, you saw that guy Flex, the comedian, played him at one time. He looked terrible. Oh God. Then they had a white guy playing him in a movie. I'm like, come on, man. What are y'all doing? Michael Jackson said in an interview that he would be horrified. He would be mortified if a white person played him in a movie. He said that. And he said that while he, after the vitiligo kicked in and he had the almost white skin, he was sitting there saying, "Yo, I'm a proud Black American."
Listen,
He said, "I would be."
this
Well, he
woman.
said, "I would never say that." He said, I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of I'm Black." He
All
said, "I
you
don't
have
want a
to
white
do
person
is go
playing
back
me."
and watch. Do you remember the time? Michael
Yeah.
Jackson was the first celebrity to
Yeah.
publicly depict us being us
Yeah.
as Egyptians.
Egyptian.
The original Kushites, and the original Kush people, the original South African people who migrated north into Egypt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he was like, I don't know why people, that whole and it's funny that interview with Oprah hits different now because back then she depicted as she's trying to be his friend and stuff like that, but then you think about how she turned on him.
She was never trying to be his friend. It was all about the
Yeah.
story. It was all about ratings. It was all about
the story and the ratings. Yeah, exactly. Because I gotta ask you this. I gotta ask you this. To ask her, do you want to? He's like, no. Like, what? Why would I want a white person to play me in a movie? Remember, that's when he first found out that he had vitiligo. He revealed that to her because she was like, "Well, why is your skin? It's obviously different. It's lighter. Like, do you bleach your skin because you're not proud of being Black or whatever?" She asked him. You're not, you don't like it. He's like, no. He's like, I have a sickness. That was the first time he ever revealed it. He's like, I have a sickness. It's a pigmentation in my skin, and da 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 da. He basically described vitiligo.
And see, here's the thing: those of us in the hood, we know it because for the most time, you don't really see a lot of guys with it. You mostly see girls with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he said it, it didn't hit most of us that different. Like, oh, okay, that made him more like us. It made him more regular. Like I don't want to say it knocked him off his pedestal, but it kind of shone him in a different light. Like, oh damn, he's going through some shit. We know people in the hood go through.
Yeah.
And
because I remember it was a girl, I think as well. a young girl who was in. I went to like elementary school. The first time I ever saw that, I saw this girl who had it in elementary school. I was like, wow, I didn't know what to think or say, and yeah, I didn't know what it was, and that's just it's weird that that happened. He developed it later. He said it started developing sometime after Thriller, I think he said, or after, yeah, I think he said that.
Yeah, I
And,
think
and I
around the
think
time he
the
had
other
got
thing
burned
that
doing that
yep,
commercial.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was
yeah,
gonna say.
it's right
That,
around that time. Yeah. So
and
that
so
is
I
so
think that
yeah,
was the other thing that affected it too was he got burns and he had to do because remember Janet also had skin grafts as a
yeah,
kid.
yeah. I wish speaking of biopics, man, I wish somebody would pick up and get Lee Daniels off of it and pick up that Richard Pryor movie. That Richard Pryor movie that was supposed to be done years ago. And Lee Daniels ended up being the director, and I do not trust him. I'm sorry. I
He
don't
has a
trust him in his
I
hands.
trust Lee Daniels. I go
I
with Lee
do
Daniels.
not.
no
I do
Lee
not.
Daniels has an agenda
He got too
and
much. He pushes that agenda too much, and I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
because
I
I
want
guarantee
somebody
if
else.
if he did it, the talk about that movie would be what men did Richard Pryor sleep with.
Yep.
That would be the narrative that would be pushed
Yep.
instead of
100%.
instead of you know everything else that this man accomplished with his career. Even they would probably not even focus on when he set himself on fire,
Yep.
which
Yeah.
it's not funny, but when he
Yeah.
did Live on the Sunset Strip and he
Yeah.
made fun of himself,
Yeah.
I mean,
And then they did depict that in JoJo Dancer a little
Yeah.
bit.
dancing with it, yeah.
They did depict that in JoJo Dancer, but the bottom line is, it had Eddie Murphy was supposed to play his father, and I
Mike
guess
Epps
Mike
was supposed to
Mike
play
Epps
him.
was supposed to play him. Then they had a nice little cast lined up, but I was not comfortable with Lee Daniels directing. I just wasn't. I'm not, here to see no agenda. He definitely would have pushed an agenda, and we're not going there. So.
Well, since you mentioned this, what do you think about this article that I'm looking at where Chris Rock is the director Martin Luther King buyout for Universal?
Yeah, I heard about that. That he's going to be directing a Martin. I mean, I have no problem with it. I mean, Martin Luther King. Anybody black can direct a Martin Luther King movie. Really,
But
we grew up
I'm
getting
like,
Martin Luther King
you
shoved
know,
down our
I don't
faces.
know about Chris Rock though. I don't. I mean,
Why? Why you don't know about Chris Rock? What is it? I don't get it.
because everything that he's directed has some sense of comedic element to it. I mean, he hasn't done anything that's like a straight up
yes,
drama
Right,
he,
but I
piece.
he
mean, I'm sure everyone said that about Jordan Peele
his
when he did
series. What's the
uh
name? What's the name
the
of the
what's it
series
called
that he was
movie.
just in? What's the name of the series he was just in? On I think
He
it's
was
either
in that film. He was in that. Yeah, that's it.
He
The
was in
one that was
Fargo.
part of the
Fargo.
what
He
Fargo.
was in
Fargo.
Fargo,
Yeah,
and
He
it
or
kind
most
of like
Spiral and Spiral. Even though he didn't direct Spiral, but I'm just saying, like he can touch a dramatic side of things. And hey, the bottom line is, I think when it comes to something like this, you already know that Chris Rock is not going to try to make this movie funny. You know what I'm saying? You know that he's not gonna do that. He's too much. He cares too much about black culture and stuff like that to do something like that. If
he's
you're
going
talking about a movie about Martin Luther King, you know
him.
what I mean?
I want him. What needs to start happening about Martin is about Dr. King is that they need to start the I have a dream speech. They only and again, this is white America, and it's yeah, Kev, you always pointing out the race, but that's what it is. They never focus on the other half of that speech, which was really talking about where's the check, where's our economic growth and our economic stability.
Hmm.
Martin talked a
Yeah.
lot about that. And
Well, yeah, I mean, he has
between
such
that
a
and the Vietnam is what actually got him killed.
yeah. Yeah, I don't be surprised if Chris definitely touches on that. Now, Chris Rock, one thing he's always been very aware about current events, political stuff, stuff like that. So he's definitely going to dive into that. He's going to get that out there, I believe. Um, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because, yeah, I feel like a subject like Dr. King, almost anybody black could do a good job directing a movie about Dr.
No, but
King.
you know what? No, I'm gonna give a little bit of pushback on that. It has to be. It can't just be anybody that's just because you're black that you can do it. No, you have to have a vested a vested some vested integrity into wanting to bring the parts of Dr. King's life to light and what he actually spoke on and
Hmm.
how much of a revolutionary he actually was. Like
Yeah,
everybody, like, again, everybody likes to focus on I have a dream, but if
right.
you go back and listen to that speech in its entirety,
Hmm.
that wasn't the that was the back end of that
That was
speech.
yeah, yeah. That was a long speech. That was a long speech that they chopped down to that. And yeah, I'm gonna give Chris the benefit of the doubt. I mean, because of his knowledge in political and current events and things like that, and he's a very intelligent dude. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he'll be able to turn out something good. But I don't think he's gonna take any opportunity to throw any really comedic aspects into it. I think he'll be serious about it and put it out there. I don't now whether or not he's gonna do a great job. I don't know, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt.
Now that's
And
curious. Why could you give Chris Rock the benefit of the doubt, but you wouldn't give Lee Daniels the benefit of the doubt?
because I
Because
told you, Lee Daniels has an agenda that he
Lee Daniels
pushes.
always pushing an agenda. It's never about.
But you don't. But you don't think that Lee Daniels, for the sake of what the subject matter is, will keep his agenda to the side and just
Nope.
give us the
No,
film,
he's
not
gonna,
some
he's
sort
gonna
of
the more
side.
controversial side of it
Right.
instead of reaching deep. As a
And
matter of fact, what I recommend to all of our listeners, Dr. King has one of his books. It's called Chaos and Community. If you want to understand exactly what I'm talking about, pick up that book and read it. If you want
right.
a clear, concise clarity on what Dr. King was about
Mm.
and what and how he saw us as a people.
Right.
I mean,
And I want
I,
to address what Ralph said because uh the agenda that he pushes and there's room for him to insert that agenda into the Richard Pryor movie because there have been rumors that Richard Pryor has slept with, has had gay encounters. There's rumors of that. We don't know how true they are, but there
and
have been rumors of that. So he will definitely explore that. Definitely.
he won't even
Most
explore that
definitely.
with King. What he'll explore with King is he'll dig into the fact
No,
that
I'm talking about Lee Daniels with
no, I'm talking about Lee Daniels. If he
Pryor.
if he decided to do if he was in consideration to do a film about Dr. King, he would
Oh
look
no, 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 no,
he
no.
would
But
dig into he
Ralph
would
was talking
more
about Lee Daniels. But I'm gonna let you finish.
no
But
no
I'm just
no
saying,
no no. But
Ralph
this
was
is
saying, why don't I trust Lee Daniels to do? I don't give him the benefit of the doubt for Richard Pryor because
right, right. But this is, and I'm trying to piggyback on that. This is why, because what he would do is he would take the fact that the FBI supposedly, quote, allegedly has tapes on Martin cheating on Claretta,
Yeah, I remember reading that.
and
Yeah,
he would make that the highlight of the film
yeah, yeah.
instead of
He
instead of
goes
bringing
to yeah.
all of this stuff. Like, he wouldn't bring to the fact to light that in some of his messages that he actually said himself, like, man, I think I might have inadvertently threw my people into a burning building because I was focused on so much on all of this other stuff, And I really should have been bringing to light, our financial prosperity and us being built up. I mean, Martin Luther King touched on so much stuff. He was touching on stuff that nobody else outside of maybe Malcolm was really talking about. Even going down as far as talking about how black farmers to this day, even after his death, are still dealing with disparities in funding for farming.
Yeah.
And how back in Martin's day, the government programs that were set up that was supposed to be equal was not equal, and
Obviously, it's still not
black
equal.
farmers were not getting their equal financial support from our government.
Yes, I mean it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, obviously, it's a lot to cover. That's why the whole Selma movie is pretty much one little area of Martin's life. You know what I'm saying?
And you can only
and you could do that. You could do several. You could do several movies like that. You could go and do several movies that are just focusing on one area of Martin's life, and while he was doing what he was doing. But anyway, that's my answer to you, Ralph. As far as Lee Daniels would definitely jump all over, and I know he would do that, because the whole thing was the whole controversy behind all that was what Richard Pryor said, as they call it, the F word now, right? It's no longer F-U-C-K, it's the other F word, right? He used that word a lot, and the controversy was for him to use it so much, and then the fact that he had one or two possible encounters, gay encounters or something like that. And you know what? Like I said, I'm not saying it's true, not true, whatever. Hell, Richard Pryor was on so much stuff back then. Who knows what happened? This is the 70s we talking about. So who knows what happened? As high as they were getting and as much sex that was flying around back then, orgies and stuff like that. Who knows what happened? But I don't care. That's the point. And I don't think if you're doing a biopic about him, and I kind of believe that's why it hasn't come to pass. I think what Lee Daniels wants to do with it, like the family and stuff like that, probably not with it.
The estate is like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, they probably not with it. You know what I'm saying? And then Lee Daniels kind of messed himself up with Empire doing that same type of stuff. Messed the show up, and yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I don't trust him.
There is a way to present, with the straight or the straight, gay, whatever the case may be. There is a way to present that without it being an agenda, without trying to push a narrative.
And I don't want to turn it into. I don't want people to have to tune into it because it's tea. Because it's still, that's the new tea in this movie about Richard Pryor. Oh, they addressed him having a gay encounter and stuff like that. Yeah, Richard Pryor even joked about it one time. That's why people think that it happened, but he joked about it one time during his roast. You know what I mean? And he made a joke about that. So people. But my thing is this: that is where Lee. If you were gonna do a movie and for whatever reason mention that in passing, or even with him redoing the roast scene, and he mentions that, okay, go ahead. But Lee Daniels will get there, and he will stay there.
And he'll present a case as to where now, if realistically this is what his life was, and this is what it was, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with presenting that. But to take a piece of somebody's life and then manipulate that into being that's who this person was as a whole.
Yeah, that's the part I don't agree with. And that is basically why I do not trust him to tell that story. We need to get another a director on that.
I
I
know
don't
who
trust
I
him.
know who could do it. I know who could do
Oh,
it. I think he do a damn good job doing it. The director I know, George Tillman. I think he could do it and do a damn good job of doing it.
George Tillman's a good director. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, and it doesn't mean that Lee Daniels not a good director. I mean, I always thought he was a little overrated, but yeah, he's a good director. He's a good storyteller, But like I said, when he did Precious, you know, he was telling a story. He was telling someone else's story. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
there was no angle that he could go
Right.
with because
But
you
he,
have
he couldn't
to
go with no angle with that.
verbatim
Right.
as to what
So
it was.
he had to do
That's why,
that. So
that's why that story slapped the way it
yeah.
did, because
Right.
he had the ability to tell the truth of a story and make it be exactly what it's supposed to be. It's
Right.
every time that he gets into his own agenda and his own narrative that things
Yeah.
go left. If you just tell the story and let the story progress naturally,
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff that he tries to add would just come on.
Yeah.
Because remember, the one thing that people screw up with whenever they make films is they try to, instead of art imitating real life, they try to blow art up into being something bigger than
Mm.
real life.
And
Meanwhile,
meanwhile,
meanwhile, as just everyday Americans, hell, as everyday Black Americans here in the United States, we've grown up with stuff like we know at an early age who wrist is bent and who ain't,
hmm
because
yeah,
we can see it, and we
you just
point it out at an early
yeah,
age, but we
right
don't
at
know.
an early age.
And also depending on who the person is, you get your ass whooped messing with the right one. So it was never a thing as to ostracizing people or making them out to be
Yeah.
bad. Now, not to say that it hasn't happened, because as people became adults, because of the way certain adults think, and especially the way a lot of Christian adults think, especially back then, the narrative was a lot different. So everybody was, and even misquoting that Bible scripture wrong. That Bible scripture wasn't talking about. It had nothing to do with a person being gay and their sexuality. What it actually had to do with was anal sex. So it didn't matter whether you were a man or a woman. If you were engaging in that, that's what was the problem. the,
Yeah.
the problem wasn't your sexuality and who you liked. It was the fact of performing that. That's
hmm
what the main objective of that scripture was. But again, people taking stuff and taking it out of context, which is again going back to Lee Daniels, is
Lee
what
Daniels.
he do the same thing.
Lee
But
Daniels did that same thing, and then you're watching the movie for the tea that you could see, the controversy or whatever, but you're not watching it for the fact that to learn more that you didn't know about Richard Pryor or whatever, or just more, and even not even that you didn't know. But this is a whole new generation now, so you
yeah,
can literally, not retell the exact story, but put more stuff in there. But this is a whole new generation. So, you
and
know,
I think
I don't think, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but I'm just saying, I think I definitely didn't trust him. I was just kind of answering Ralph's question on that. I
I
don't
also
trust
think
him to
you really
deliver
want to
that.
know something about somebody. People write enough books, and there's enough truth and history out there about individuals to where you can go and find out verbatim, sometimes even from the person's own mouth, of exactly who they were, the type of person they were, and how they lived their life, versus reading or watching a dramatic representation of a person that's also pumped up with a little bit. They put the battery in the back of the project a little bit to give it some more legs for dramatic purposes. You
Mm,
you you'll have you'll see on a lot of shows that are based on real life events where they add a little fluff to make the story
mm,
more interesting.
Yeah, they're gonna do that pretty much on most things. But yeah, so that's pretty much that, man. But next week, we'll be back talking some more. So I'm actually, am I on next week? I don't know. I guess so. I might be taking off. I don't know. I'm not sure. My whole birthday weekend, so I don't know. Depends. But anyway, next week, I think the next couple of weeks, our former guest who came on the show, Jen Dion, she probably gonna come and hang out with us and do some co-hosting the next week or two. As our guest co-host, um, she's been getting into the podcasting thing. She's got her own little thing she's doing, so she wanted to come hang out with us some more, and this time take a little more part in it instead of just being interviewed. So that should be cool to have her back. Yeah, and we'll just continue on. What's coming out? What's the next thing coming out? I don't know. Shoot, I think the next thing, other than these, huh?
Taylor
What do you
Swift,
say?
that's about it.
Well, Taylor Swift, obviously. Beyonce after that. The Marvels come out soon.
That's in November.
That's in November, right? Here's a
Yeah, that's
picture.
November.
Is that a real picture of the Hulk Hogan
The Hunger
biopic?
Game. The Hunger
Chris
Games
Chris.
prequel is coming out.
Yeah, that's coming out soon.
Oh, okay.
Napoleon.
Yeah,
I do want to see Napoleon though. That looks kind of good.
Napoleon's come. Oh, you know
Anything.
what? What's the movie? The Scorsese movie. I think that's out, or it comes out this week. I think
that's next week. The Flowers of the Forest or some shit like that.
something like that. Yeah, something of the flower moon or whatever. But that one. Being that it is. Oh yeah, today is. Isn't it today like Indigenous People Day? I don't know when it became that, but
Well,
yeah.
it became that because we all
Columbus
give
Day.
pushback
Yeah.
about it being Columbus Day.
Giving pushback about Columbus Day. Oh, that's why it became that.
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't realize that.
How are we celebrating? How are we celebrating a man that came here and basically destroyed? Was part of the reason
was here already.
The indigenous population.
Right, Christopher Columbus is. Every time you mention that, but a lot of my Italian friends get mad when I say that. I'm like, yeah, I'm just saying, man. It don't mean nothing.
And Napoleon wasn't even fully Italian. He was basically backed by Spain. When he came here.
So that's funny. I'm just learning that now. So, they calling it that as an alternative or pushback because I forgot today was Columbus Day because I don't obviously give a damn about Christopher Columbus. So I didn't even realize today was Columbus Day.
A lot of states right now have turned to and have realized like, yo, it's funny how they talk about CRT and all of this other BS that they talk about, but a lot of states have been like, nah, B, not so much. Like we're understanding now that the narrative that we've been teaching our children is BS. Like he is not to be celebrated.
No, not in Florida though. You know that they ain't trying to teach the kids the truth. So I wanted to say on streaming, Haunted Mansion is now on streaming for people who may or may not know. Hadn't get to see it, check it out. There's a lot of them now that are available on streaming. The what was that? The Blackening is on Peacock, I think. Oh, and by the way, what was I just saying? Well, it was another streamer that I was just watching.
Super Mario Brothers is available, I think.
That's available now. And so is the Ninja Turtles, actually.
Yeah, the Ninja Turtles has been available for the last 3 weeks now.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles available.
I really like that. I really like the Ninja Turtles. I'm surprised.
Right. But when I say available, I mean available on like a network, like a streamer, instead of buying it. It's been available for a long time to buy it, but now it's available on like Peacock or whatever or Paramount Plus, whatever. yeah, so those movies are now available. You want to check those out. We do have once again the there was something else that just
That
Loki season 2.
Willy Wonka, is
Loki
that Willy Wonka prequel coming out too soon?
might
Who?
be
The
Loki's.
who?
He's a Willy Wonka prequel.
Oh,
Loki season 2 is now streaming on Disney Plus. If you want to check that out, of course, check out the Gen V, which comes out. I mean, every Thursday, I think they put out a new episode. That is the companion show to The Boys, and yeah, so that's pretty much what's rocking right now. And thanks to everybody that came through, checked it out. Thank you to everybody that's coming through to check it out. We appreciate you coming through and hanging out with us. We appreciate you in the chat room. Joseph Tanner. Don't worry, bro. I'm gonna get India up here, my dude. India called me while we on the air. I'm like, come on now, you know we on the air. But
yeah. I gotta call India back. I talked to her last night. I
yeah.
was telling her. I said, "Yeah, Wes told me about them with this." She's like, "He did not tell us." I said, "You did." Yes,
Yeah,
he
I tell
did.
the story.
Excuse me.
I wanted
Excuse
to
me.
wait. See you blowing me up, man. I wanted to wait her to get on here so I can do it with her on here and
Oh,
really inspire herself.
oh, then
So
you can't embarrass.
now she's gonna
Oh,
be
you don't.
expecting it.
But see, you wait. You know you can't do it because if you do, then you're gonna get all kind of hate mail from Joseph saying, "Why you embarrassing my queen like that? What's the
It's
problem?"
all good. It's all good. It's a funny story. That's why I have to tell her. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Excuse
Excuse
me.
me.
Excuse me.
She had like said that about 20
You know
times
what?
because it's like
I
20 seats in that row. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
I was
So,
looking at Pee Wee Herman this week. I was looking at the Pee Wee Herman movie.
oh yeah, he did that in Pee Wee's Big Adventure, right?
Yeah, yeah. He's like, "Excuse me,
Yeah,
pardon
excuse
me,
me.
excuse me."
Excuse me. Excuse me.
And you know what
Yeah,
the
that's
funny
funny.
thing about that? You know what the funny thing about that scene is? If you remember that scene when he goes outside, he knocks over all bikes, and the gang brings him back in there, and they're saying
Yeah.
how they're gonna kill him and stuff. Do you know who the girl was that yoked him up? It was like when they would say it, he said, "You should let go." They say no, and then some girl said, "You should let me have him."
Yeah.
That's Elvira. That's Elvira.
That's interesting.
That's her
Didn't
without
realize
the
that.
whole Elvira
Without all of the
persona on, but
Elvira
that's
get up,
Elvira.
yeah. I still was traumatized by that Large Marge story. That whole part. I don't care when Large Marge was telling the story, and then she's like, that was scary. Anyway, we'll get up with y'all next week. We appreciate y'all coming out and hanging out. Till next time, for Ralph and Kev and Jedi Council, I'm the director. Peace, everybody.